Hey everybody, in this video we are going to talk about physical properties and changes and chemical properties and changes. We're going to lump them together, the properties and changes, because physical has to do with one part of chemistry and the chemical properties and changes have to do with the other part of chemistry. So that's why we're going to kind of lump them into the category of physical and chemical. Okay, so let's take a look at what we got. A physical property is, and you can pause the video if you want to write this down, is something that is observable and measurable. And remember, observable means quantitative and qualitative, right? Qualitative. Okay, so a physical property could be that it is that the piece of wood is 5 centimeters long, or it could be that it is brown. But the physical property describes its appearance. Okay, and then that means a physical change is a change in that thing's appearance. Okay, so there is, and this is kind of the part that's going to help folks the most, is there's like vocabulary that is associated with physical properties and physical changes. Okay, and some of those words I've listed here. So if you cut something, you're changing its physical property. You're not changing what it is, you're changing the way it looks. So if you take a piece of paper and cut it in half, you're changing its size. You're not changing that it's paper. It's still paper. Okay. I'll skip melt for a second. I'll come back to it. Tear and fold. So again, you're just changing the way that something looks. You're not changing the way that it is. You're not changing what it's made out of. When something melts, boils, or freezes, for this, you think of water. When water melts, or when water boils, or when water freezes, okay, it is still water. It just changes the way it looks. Okay, like an ice cube. Think of an ice cube when it melts. Okay, an ice cube when it melts still becomes water. So a phase change, these things, 1, 2, here I'll circle them. These are called phase changes. Okay, these are physical changes. And I always say that. Physical change is a phase change. Or a phase change is a physical change. Okay, pH. Chemical properties has to do with how matter reacts. And again, you can pause this and write these definitions down. And a chemical change is literally just a chemical reaction. Okay? And so what happens is the substance or the matter is going to be turned into a different substance. Okay? Like when you burn a log, if you had a log here, okay, and you burn that log, okay, after it's burnt, it's just ashes on the ground. That's not a log. You've changed what it is. So again, just like there's vocabulary associated with chemical things, there's vocabulary associated. So just like there's vocabulary associated with physical things, there's also vocabulary associated with chemical things. Okay, so when something burns, that's what we're talking about here with the log. You burn a log, it's different. Okay, a reaction. If something undergoes a reaction, it's not it's not the same thing as what you started with. It has undergone a chemical change. Exploding. When something is flammable, that means it lights on fire. When something living is rotting, that is also a change. And so this could also be like milk going bad, spoiling. You've changed what it is. It's no longer milk. When milk rots or spoils because you're not willing to drink it because it's gone under a chemical reaction. Decomposing, if you have a tree falling in a forest and it decomposes, starts breaking down, that's a chemical change. Rusting is a chemical change. Now there's other specific types of this is the general thing here is this is called oxidizing, and oxidizing is one type of oxidizing is rusting, and this is what iron does. Okay, iron rusts. But there's other things like silver. Silver oxidizes, and when that oxidizes, that is called tarnish. Okay, it tarnishes. Okay, copper oxidizes, and copper patinas. Okay, so different things oxidize differently. Rust is just kind of the most common. Okay, so let's do some examples. Okay, so what we want to do is we have the mass of an object. We want to know if that's physical or chemical. That is physical. That's a measurement. You put it on the balance. We've used balances in the lab. That is a physical property. The density. Okay, in order to determine the density of something, again, we did this in lab. You don't have to have it undergo a chemical reaction. Okay, it's physical. Flammability. Gasoline is flammable. That is a chemical change. Again, this word flammable is one of those key vocabulary words. Okay, to know that that something is chemical. And then melting. I'm going to ask all about phase changes a lot because I want to drive home the point that melting is always a physical change. Okay, so now more things going on here. Okay, so this says fireworks exploding. Okay, exploding is a chemical change. Iron rusting. Iron can rust. That's a property. That's a chemical property. Okay, this is a tree rotting. It's rotting wood. That is chemical. Okay, and again, boiling water. That's a phase change going from a liquid to a gas. That is a physical. Phase changes are physical. Okay, so there you have some definitions, some vocabulary associated with changes and properties, and then some examples. Okay, everybody, have a great day.